Am I audible, students? Students, am I audible? Okay, and can you see the slide presentation? I just want to know, have I done cosine similarity with you all? Have I done cosine similarity? Mahip, was cosine similarity covered? Okay, so you have the formula, all of you have the formula? Okay, now cosine similarity I will demonstrate tomorrow in the offline lecture. Okay, cosine similarity, students, is used basically for documents. Okay, to find if it's called also as a document similarity measure. Okay, it's used to find a similarity among different documents. And if those who are absent or do not have this formula, please note down this formula. Okay, so we have the cosine similarity as a dot product. Okay, they are divided by the product of the magnitudes of x and y. Okay, so over here, okay, in the cosine similarity, x dot y, okay, this is the dot product, okay, which is nothing but the summation of the product, what do you say, summation of the products, which is comprises of the scalar values xk into yk, okay, for each x and y object. So this is the formula which is used. Now, what is the interpretation of the cosine similarity? Now, cosine similarity basically is the angle. So it talks about the angle which is shared between both the objects over here, x and y. So if x is 1, if the cosine value is 1 of x and y, that means they are similar and there is this angle, okay, this angle becomes 0 because cos of 0 is 1. So this angle becomes 0. That means there is no dissimilarity between x and y and they are similar. Okay. So value close to 1 means that the objects are very similar, and a value 0 means that the objects are not at all similar. That means the angle between x and y is 90 degrees. Okay, and they are perpendicular to one another. Okay, so this is an example given. Have I done this example in the previous class? Have I done this example in the previous class? Okay, fine. So if you have two objects x and y which have the following attribute values, then you first find the dot product and then you find the magnitude of x and y. Okay, you find the magnitude of x and y and then you compute the cosine value. Okay, so it is 0.31. That means these objects are not very similar. Okay, so do you have this on your notebook? Then I will go to the next slide. Okay, so now you can solve this. Okay, students, please take down the numerical and start solving. Okay, please take down the numerical and start solving. Have I done this also? Have I done this example? Savita, have I done this one? Okay, so you can take this example down and you can start solving. Okay, so you need to solve this. Okay, so you need to find the distance between A and B, B and C. Okay, you need to find them between A and B, B and C, A and C. Okay, Euclidean distance and the cosine distance. Okay, so you can start solving. I'll give you all around 5 minutes. You can start solving this. Fine. Okay, the first one we have here is the Euclidean distance. So you can solve the Euclidean distance first. What is the distance between A and B? What is the Euclidean distance between A and B? Okay, I'll do one thing. I will give the first step for y'all. Otherwise, y'all will feel it's what ma'am is only thing. So this is a formula. AI and BI. AI are values belonging to object A, and BI are values belonging to object B. So summation of the square differences, okay, and the square root of that. So square root of the sum of square differences between the values of a and b will give us the Euclidean distance. So that is 1 minus 1 the whole square plus 0 minus 4 the whole square plus 0 minus 5 the whole square, which is 6.40. Okay, 6.40. So now, Euclidean distance, please note, is a dissimilarity measure. Okay. So, have you noted the steps down, all of you all? Have you noted the steps down? Have you noted the steps down? Okay, then please solve for the next one. A and C. Please solve for A and C. Okay, please solve the Euclidean distance for A and C, all of you all. Please solve, students. Please solve. Okay, we'll check. A and C, is that? Okay. Yeah, it's 9. Okay. What about the next one? Those who have not done this, please solve. Okay. All of you all, please solve. What about the next one? B and C. Can I change the slide? Have all of you all noted down the working? Can I change the slide? Can I change the slide? Have all of you all noted down the working? Savita, let's let him confirm. Okay. Okay. So yeah, the answer is 11.0453. Okay. Students, please note these answers. All of you all, please note down these answers. Okay. Please note down these answers. And tomorrow, without fail, don't come for my class without a calculator. I'm repeating, please don't come for my class without a calculator. Okay. Yeah, so next thing, this is what we have is our proximity matrix. So can you tell me over here, students, which objects are the most similar? Which objects are the most similar objects? Which objects are the most similar objects, students? A and B. Okay. On what basis do you say A and B? What about the others? What about the others? Is it A and B or is it B and C? What about the others? Minimum value. That's correct. In these similarity measures, values which are closer to 0, we say that those objects whose distance values are closer to 0 are said to be more similar. And in similarity measures, values which are close to 1 are said to be more similar. Again, I repeat, in these similarity measures, the values which are close to 0 are said to be most similar objects or share strong similarities, whereas in similarity measures, values close to 1 share strong similarities. So please note A and B are said to be more closer than B and C because their value is much less and more closer to 0. Okay. So the next thing we will do is the cosine similarity. So you find out the magnitude of A, B and C. Okay. Please compute the magnitude of A, B and C. What is the magnitude of A? What is the magnitude of A? What is the magnitude of A? Fine. Magnitude of B. Those who have not noted the steps can note down the steps. Okay. Magnitude of B. Magnitude of B, students. The formula. What is the magnitude? Compute. Okay. What about the rest? The rest are not solving, students. Magnitude of C. Okay. Now you need to find the dot products. Okay. So what is the dot product of A dot B? Okay. What is the dot product of A dot B? Those who want to note down the steps and have not yet solved, please note down the steps quickly. I will give you all 1 more minute. Savita, let anybody wants to note down the steps. I repeat, does anybody want to note down the steps? Okay. A dot B is 1. A dot C. What about A dot C? A dot C. Okay. And you have B dot C. B dot C. Okay. So you'll get the same answer. Fine. Okay. A dot B, B dot C, and A, this. Okay. So now you compute the cosine of A comma B. What is the cosine distance of A comma B? Anybody wants to note down these steps? Kindly note down, please. Anybody who wants to note down these steps, kindly note down. I'll give you all a minute. Finish, students? Okay, I'm changing the slide. Yeah, so A dot B, what will you get? Cosine similarity of A dot B. What is A dot B? What is A dot B? Okay, what about the others? Okay, that's correct. Some digits may vary. Okay. What about A dot C and B dot C? Sorry, what about A comma C and B comma C? A comma C is 1, okay, and B comma C is 0.152, okay. Are you getting these answers, all of you all? Are you getting these answers? Are you getting these answers? Okay, I'll give you all a minute. Kindly note down these contents. Okay, kindly note down these contents. Yeah, have you all finished? Okay. So this is our proximity matrix. Please draw the proximity matrix, all of you all. Please draw the proximity matrix. Have you all finished noting down these steps, students? See, students, when I'm asking for a confirmation, I'm assuming that you'll answer, okay? Because if you don't, then tomorrow don't say ma'am was going too fast, okay? You need to have this on your notebooks, all of you all. So if you all want some time, you want to take down something from the slide, please drop a message or you can use your mic and inform the same. Okay, so please do that. Please be more interactive during the online lectures. Okay, and be more responsive also. So now looking at this proximity matrix, which are the objects which are having the highest similarity? Which are the objects which have the highest similarity? A and C. A and C because the cost value is 1. In the sense that the cost value is 1, that means the angle between them is 0 and they are strongly similar. Okay. Shall I change the slide? Shall I change the slide? Have you all finished? Next thing, again, we have an example over here. So, yeah, this also you can solve. I've done something, just so you can take down this data set. We have X and Y object. So first you compute the Euclidean distance. Okay, take this data object and compute the Euclidean distance. Okay, please take down the data object and compute the Euclidean distance, all of you all. What is the Euclidean distance, students? I have done this. Okay, you want you all can this, but you all first do this. Okay, what is the Euclidean distance? What is the Euclidean distance, students? Okay, 1.73. Okay, and what about the others? How you got 1.73? Are you taking this x minus y the whole square and then you have to compute the sum, right? The sum of this will be square root of this. How you got 1.7? Just see, please, kindly check. Yeah, you should get 2. Okay. This is a breakup because we are computing Euclidean, Manhattan, and we are also computing the magnitude, okay, of x, y, and the dot product. So yeah, so this basically this table in fact will give you all the answers. So here you need not do the steps. Okay, I have just done it for simplicity's sake to show the breakup of the working. Done. So Euclidean value is 2. What about Manhattan? What is Manhattan distance? What is the Manhattan distance? What is the Manhattan distance value? What is the Manhattan distance value? What is the Manhattan distance? What is Manhattan distance? Sum of the absolute, okay, sum of the absolute values, which is nothing but values what? Absolute differences, okay, the absolute differences among x and y values, right? So how do you compute a Manhattan distance? Manhattan distance is computed as, okay, let us take the first one, 0 minus 0, okay, plus 1 minus 0. So absolute value of 0 minus 0, okay, plus 1 minus 0, okay, plus 0 minus 1, okay, and so on. So this is how the Manhattan distance is given, okay. So applying this formula, what do you get? Okay, yeah, that's correct. The answer is 4. Okay, the answer is 4. So 0 minus, so 1, 1, these will be, all these three will be 0, and then 1, 1. So the value is 4, okay. Manhattan distance is 4. Now, what about cosine formula? Cosine formula is given as x dot y divided by the magnitude of x multiplied by the magnitude of y. So, what answer do you get for the cosine formula? Again, this is a direct answer. What answer do you get for the cosine formula? You can solve. I will give you all 5 minutes. Please solve. 5 minutes. I'll give you all. Please solve. Have you all finished, students? Have you all finished? 1 second, students. Just 1 second. Have you all finished, students? Okay, take your time. What answer do you get, students? What answer do you get? Okay, you are getting this answer. Okay. So this is another example. Okay. Now you can solve for Jacquard's and SMC as well. Simple matching coefficient, also called short form is SMC. So please compute for SMC. So for that, first, now looking at this data set, tell me what is F00. What will be the frequency count for F00? What is F00 equal to? What is F00 equal to? What is F00 equal to? F00 is the frequency of how many attributes have both 0, 0, okay, common value 0, 0. So here only one attribute has 0, 0, okay, both the values are 0. The rest have 1, 0, 0, 1, 1, 1, okay. Then the next one we have is F11, okay. What is F11? What is F11? Okay, so which attributes have common combination 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. So these three attributes have the combination 1, 1. Okay, then F01. Okay, F01. What is F01? F01 How many are there? How many are there for F01? 3. Here, 0, 1, then 0, 1, and 0, 1. So 3. F10, F10, how many do we have? F10, how many do we have? 1. Okay. So what is the SMC formula? What is the SMC formula? What is the SMC value? What is the simple matching coefficient value? What is the simple matching coefficient value? Are you all getting this answer? 0.5. Okay, what about Jacquard's coefficient? What does Jacquard's coefficient do? It is more suitable for asymmetric attributes. So, if for asymmetric attributes, the presence of 1 is important. So, what is the Jacquard's coefficient value for this data set? Yeah. Have you found out Jacquard's coefficient? So you all can just take this down. All of you all, those who have not completed, I'll give you all a minute. You all can just take down this example as well. Okay. Please take down this example as well. Please take down this example as well. Okay. Okay. Have you all finished, students? Can I change the slide? Kindly confirm if I can change the slide. If you all want time to note down the steps or anything, please let me know. Okay. Okay, I'm changing the slide. Since no one has replied, I assume that all of you all have noted it down. Okay, then we have the extended Jacquard's coefficient, also called as the Tanimoto coefficient. Okay, so if you want, you can even use this formula. Okay, the extended Jacquard's coefficient or the Tanimoto coefficient. Okay, so please take down this formula. Okay. Have you all finished noting down the formula? Have you all finished noting down the formula? Okay. Sorry, friends. Just yeah. So, okay. So you can use the extended Jacquard's coefficient as well. Okay. This can be used as it's called as also as a Jacquard's cosine similarity because it can be used for document data. Okay, so you can use this for document data. It's also called in some books as a Jacquard's cosine similarity. Okay, this is also called as a Jacquard's cosine similarity. Okay. The next thing is if you want to find correlation. So correlation, that is if you want to find how two attributes or two objects are, what do you say, strongly related to one another. So you can go for the Pearson's correlation coefficient, which is given as the covariance of A and B, assuming A and B are objects, divided by the standard deviation of A and B, product of the standard deviation of A and B. So if you want to find out if there is any relation among attributes or objects, you can go in for the correlation measures. So today we will study the Pearson's correlation coefficient. So again, this is a formula. Students, mainly this part of DM has a formula. What do you say? You need to remember the formula and use the formula wherever appropriate. So please take down the correlation formula. Please take down the correlation formula, students. Okay, have you all finished? Have you all finished? When you have finished, please drop a message in the chat box. Okay, I am changing the slide. No one is responding. I assume that you all have taken it down. Okay. Yeah. Okay, then the covariance is given as follows. Okay, covariance is given as each value belonging to object A and object B, okay, minus the mean value of for A and B, okay, the mean values over here, divided by n, okay, and again summation of the values of A and B, that's the mean values, okay, and the standard deviation is given as again square root of AI minus a bar the whole square. Okay, so please note down these formulas over here. Please note down the formulas. Are you all noting down the formulas, all of you all? Are you all noting down the formulas? We need the formulas for the numericals. Okay, if you have finished, please let me know. Please let me know if you all have finished noting down the formulas. Okay, I am changing the slide. Okay, all of you have finished, right? So I'm changing the slide. This is the data set. You have to find a correlation between age and the fat percentage in a person. Okay, this no bias to anybody. This is the data set as given in the textbook. Okay, I haven't what do you say done any changes or something. So this is a data set which is given from the textbooks. I don't know Hiren Kember or Vipin Kumar, but one of the textbook it's there. Okay, so you need to find the correlation among age and attribute. So first you need to find the mean of age and fat percentage. So please take down the data set and then compute the what do you say the mean of age and fat percentage. Please compute the mean of age and fat percentage. Okay, all of you. Please compute the mean of age and fat percentage. All of you. I will give you all 5 minutes. If you'll finish before that, fine. If one person also gets the answer, I'll put it up on the slide. Have you all finished, students? Have you all finished? What are you getting the mean of age as? What is the mean of age? What is the mean value of the age? Yes, have you found out the value, students? Okay, you all can compute. Please compute the mean between age and fat percentage. The other one is 28.78. Are you all getting these answers? Are you all getting these answers? Okay. The next thing you all have to compute as per the data set is the standard deviation. Okay, so please compute the standard deviation of age and fat percentage. Okay, compute the standard deviation of age and fat percentage. Compute the standard deviation of age. You can take your time, students, but please solve. Please solve. What is the standard deviation of age? Okay, take your time, another 2 more minutes. When you're finished, let me know. Okay. Have you all finished, students? Have you all finished? Okay. Yeah, that's correct. You can take the standard deviation of fat also. Fat is 8.993. So using this formula, you can note down, later you can compute. Okay, I just want you all to solve. That is why I did not put the answers immediately. I want all of you all to solve. So the standard deviations and the mean values are given. Now you need to compute the covariance. So what is the covariance formula given as? The covariance formula. So you can compute the covariance. Okay. So what do you get as a covariance? What is the covariance value? What is the covariance value? Compute the covariance value. Okay, are you getting this answer? Okay, solve, students, you can solve. Okay, I'll put this answer up. You can note it down and you can check it at home. Okay, you can check this answer if you are getting the same answer. Okay, Have you all noted this down? You can leave some space and you can do it later. I just want to finish a few things because tomorrow I want to do another numerical which will take some time. So that's why. Uh, have you all finished this, all of you all? Have you all finished this? Have you all finished noting down the contents on this slide? Students, have you finished noting down the contents on this slide? Fine. Please solve at home and see if you are getting these answers, okay? And last thing we have is the correlation coefficient. You can just note down the last step as well. Okay, last step. Last step you can just note down. That's it. Last step, students, that is just you need to use the formula and use all those values which are there. Okay. Tomorrow, let's see if time permits. We'll try to do around 3 numericals, one on the document data, two on the document data, and one on the Pearson's correlation coefficient. Okay. Fine. Okay, I'm changing the slide. I assume all of you all have taken down the thing. So next thing we have is Bregman divergence. So Bregman divergence, students, is another proximity function which can be used. But students, to be practical, this is hardly used much in practically. Mostly we use Euclidean Manhattan cosine similarity. Okay, but Bregman divergence can also be used as a proximity function. Okay, and this is the formula which is given. So basically, again, this is a very complex formula which is nothing but it is uses something called as gradients, okay, and vector concept over here in order to find the differences among the two objects which are there, okay, that is x and y. So it uses the gradients of x and y, and it also finds the vector differences, okay, between x and y to compute the proximity between x and y objects. So Bregman divergence is a formula which is given in theory, but it is hardly used much practically, but it can be used as a proximity function. Okay. So you all can just note down the formula. Okay, you can just note down the formula, all of you. Okay. I'll give you all a minute, just 1 minute. At 2:22, I'll change the slide. So you can just note down the formula. Okay. At 2:22, I'll change the slide. Quickly note down the formula. Okay, I'm changing the slide. The next thing we have is issues in proximity. So some of the issues in proximity calculation is when you have what you say different attributes and they may not be similar. Okay, in the sense one when you're using Euclidean distance, okay, on attributes or different objects, one attribute may dominate the other. Okay, then some attributes might be similar. Then having finding similarities for heterogeneous attributes, meaning attributes of different data types, like some are numerical, some are alphanumerical, some are strings, Computing similarity for heterogeneous attribute also becomes a challenge, and also how to find the proximity calculation when some attributes are more important than the other because they have weights associated with it. So these are some of the challenges which are there when it comes to proximity calculation. So the first one, okay, this is used to handle standardization and correlation of distance measures. This is suitable. The Mahalanobis distance formula is suitable when the attributes are correlated. Okay, when they have different ranges, so you can use them when they have different ranges, when they are correlated, and last when the distribution of the two objects or data is roughly Gaussian. Okay, so Mahalanobis distance is used to handle when attributes have different ranges, when they are correlated. Because what happens is if you use the standard formulas like Euclidean Manhattan, these values which are there, one attribute may dominate the others. So because of that, we make use of the Mahalanobis distance formula. So you can just note down these points before I change to the next slide. Okay, please note down these points before I change to the next slide. Okay. This is a little bit of theory, students. So we'll complete the theory for similarity and dissimilarity measures today itself. And maybe tomorrow we will do fully numericals again in the offline session. Okay. Okay, I'm changing the slide. Have all of you noted the contents on this slide? Have all of you noted the contents on this slide? Next is how do you compute similarities if the attributes are of different data types, that is a heterogeneous. So we have some algorithm here. So what is the approach over here? I'll tell you. Since the attributes are of different data types, so they're heterogeneous, that is the data types are different, we will compute the similarities among the individual attributes, okay, for a pair of objects, we'll compute the similarities among each attribute and then we will combine all those similarities together. So for each attribute, for the kth attribute, you find the similarity in the range 0 to 1. Then we have an indicator variable. If it's 0, if the attribute is asymmetric and both the objects have 0 value for that kth attribute, both the objects have value 0, or if one has a missing value. If this condition is not true, that is, it is not asymmetric, and then we assign it as 1. We assign it as 0 if it is an asymmetric attribute and both objects have 0 or 1 is missing. So once we compute the similarity and the indicator variable for each k attribute, then we sum the similarities, okay, which is nothing but the indicator variable into the multiplied by the similarity for each k attribute, and we sum this divided by the the sum of all indicator variables. Okay, so this is the general formula. Now if we have weights, then we can add the weight, so the weight gets added over here. So we find the product of the weight of each attribute, the indicator, as well as the similarity, okay, of the kth attributes. Okay, so once we have done this, this is another variation, and last we can have a variation of the similarity measure, that is we can use Minkowski's distance using weights. So weight multiplied by xk minus yk raised to the absolute value, the difference, absolute value raised to r, okay, the whole thing raised to 1 by r. So the Minkowski's distance can also be updated, okay, and used in this formula over here. Okay. So now when you are trying to find a similarity on different objects, you need to know the correct proximity measures. So, selecting the proximity measure depends on what type of data you have. If you're numerical, then it is Euclidean. If the attributes are correlated, like sales tax, okay, and the bill. So these are correlated, or age and date of birth. So if there is some correlation, then we can go for Mahalanobis distance formula. So again, it depends on the type of the data, like sparse data, asymmetric data, binary data. Then it also depends on the differences in the magnitude and the ranges. Now here, as I said, if the magnitude and the ranges across attributes differ, then we can go in for the Mahalanobis distance formula. Okay. So this was all from my end, students. So this is the theory part, and we have concluded with similarity and dissimilarity measures. Okay, so tomorrow's session will be a full-fledged numerical on cosine similarity, a few numericals on Pearson's correlation if time permits, but definitely a full numerical will be done on document data using cosine similarity, which is important. Okay, there are a lot of things in that. So that if we get time, then we'll go for one numerical on Pearson's correlation as well. Okay. So today's session is over. So I'm going to close the slide, and similarity and dissimilarity measures are done. So only we will do the document similarity example tomorrow. Okay. So I will just take your attendance. Okay, just give me a minute. Okay, please answer your roll call, Leanne. Wendell, Wendell, Mehul, Anish, Jason, Saish, Rahul, Lakshmi, Rishikesh, Lizanne, Shrisha, Sheetal, Mahit. Sheetal is absent. Savita, Virisha, Pradnya, Mohit, Sia, Akshata, Ujjwal, Hitesh, Sumedha. Hitesh is absent. Triyash, Shavik, Nolan. Shavik is absent. Okay. Sania, Dattaraj, Gayatri, Parth. Parth is absent. Sahil, Romano, Pranav, Rahil. Okay, fine. Just a minute. Nikhil, Purvesh, Purvesh, Adarsh, आदर्श, मनाल, मयूरेश, तीर्था, सलील, समीश, ओके दीपेश, समीश is here, Tanisha, यश, यश, संकेत, गुणेश, शीना, रिंकी, अनीश केनी, अनीश केनी, सनत, अनीश नार्वेकर, सुजीत, सुश्रुत, निखिल, सोहन, अनीक्षा, अनीक्षा, रुचिता, संपदा, एलिसन, तैफान, तैफान, साधना, रिया, अतीश, अतीश is here, श्रीपद, श्रीपद, Lionel, yes Sushruta, I am marked to present. Lionel,